Hi, everybody. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to scale something up. I am not in my studio, so I'm going to have to be creative and show you how to do this using Zoom annotation. And I think I can make this work. So first thing is I found this online, and this shows you how to scale something up. It's pretty simple. It's really easy. So basically, this is your thumbnail sketch. What this fellow is doing is he's taking his ruler and he's going to go from corner to corner. So I'm just going to go back and pause everything. All right. So this gives me some room to work with here, and I'm going to start to annotate now. So what this fellow is doing, excuse me, is he's going from corner to corner using the ruler here. And he's just going to extend that line as far as he can, right? And if this person was going to scale this up, double the size, next thing you do is you just draw a line straight up, parallel to the side of the paper. Make sure it's parallel to the side of the paper. It's very important. And you're going to draw a line straight over, parallel to the side of the paper. Again, that's very important. Now, if this, let's go here. If this from here to here is only 2 inches, I'm using my mouse pad to draw, so bear with me. And from here to here is 1 inch. And we wanted to scale this up 2 times. Then you just do 2 times 2, which is 4, and 2 times 1, which is 2. So that would be 4 and 2. So that's an easy scale up, right? Say, for example, you wanted to scale it up 2.5 times. So 2.5 times 2 is 5, because half of 2 is 1, and then you just add 1 to the 4, which is double. So that would be 5. But you can always use your calculator in your phone and just do 2, or whatever number this is, times 2.5, and you'll get your number. So let's keep it simple here, and let's just add it, scale it up by 2. You can scale it up by 3, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to scale it up by 2. So imagine I took my ruler and I measured 4 inches to about right here, and this is the 4-inch mark. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my ruler and make a straight line right across, right? Anywhere, and this line that I'm making has to be perfectly horizontal. It's really important. It's perfectly horizontal. So how do you know if it's horizontal? You measure from the top of the paper down, and you measure from the top of the paper. I gotta move and then you measure the top of the paper down, and just to double check to see if it's the same measurement. And that way you'll know it's straight. And then after that, once this blue line here intersects the diagonal blue line, find that intersection and drop a line straight down, perfectly straight. Okay, so that is now your rectangle in proportion to what you see here. And if what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the video and just kind of show you that the same thing. That's the music. And anywhere along that diagonal line, you're going to get the same scale. So I will pause it now. And I'm going to go back to where I was before, so it all makes sense. I was on 11. Sorry, bear with me. There we go. So that's where I was before. Okay, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you, or say there's a shape that you're trying to create. So I'm going to show you this shape really quickly. Say, for example, you're dealing with a shape like this. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the drawing on top of here. Just bear with me for a moment. But say you're dealing with a shape that looks like this. Let me draw this out. And say this is your shape right here. You can kind of see where I am. And I'm going to outline the shape, draw it out. So you can take this, if you have an extra piece of old single cell that you can just take and cut out the shape, this flat plane, and scale it up. That would be great. So say that's the shape there, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back, forward, and I'm going to go back to here. And now I'm going to draw that shape. So that shape looks something like this. So let's just say the shape looked like hold on a second. Say the shape looks something like this. That's not an accurate representation of the shape that we just traced out previously, but it's similar. Maybe it's not as long, but I can get the idea. And what I'm going to do now is this shape here, I'm going to draw, and I'm going to make it larger, or not larger, but I'm just going to draw it straight. And I'm going to draw this shape right. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to draw the shape in this section now. I'm just going to pull this back just so we can kind of see. And I'm going to straighten out this vertical line here, or this line here on the left, to become a vertical line. And I'm going to put it right here. So that's going to be my vertical line. Actually, I'm going to make it a little lower. That's going to be my vertical line, okay? Straight up and down. Next thing, I'm going to put this line in here. Okay, so that's going to go probably something like this. The next line I'm going to put is this line here, and it's probably going to look like this. And this is just basically you tracing the shape out. And then the next line is going to do something like this, probably like that. Okay. So I didn't scale this up. I'm just imagine I'm drawing this in the same size. All I did was just rotate. All I did was just rotate this form in this direction. Okay. And this is how it's rotated. And my main goal was to make this left side straight up and down. So it coincides with the rectangle that I'm going to draw. So the next thing you're going to do, I'm just going to go back so I can lose that, is you're going to draw a square around this. And I'm going to use that's hard to see. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the right color that's going to pop out. I'll use this dark blue. So this dark blue, I'm going to draw straight up and down. And right on this corner right here, I want to draw a line perfectly horizontal, right? So I'm just going to go this way, but I'm going to extend that line further out. But you want it perfectly horizontal. I just can't get right on my line. There we go. Perfectly horizontal. And then you're going to draw a line straight up right on the far corner of this form, perfectly vertical. And then you're going to draw a line over here, perfectly horizontal. Okay, so that now you can see why I rotated this over here, this form, because I wanted to get this line here perfectly vertical so it could fit within this rectangle. And it's easier for me to make those changes. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this up just like we were doing right here. Okay, so let me just go back so I don't have all these weird lines and drawings and confuse you more. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go use a different color. I'm going to use dark green at this point in time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this line straight up. Okay. In addition to that, what I forgot to do originally is I'm going to go from corner to corner. So I'm going from the bottom left-hand corner to the top right-hand corner. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here, right? And then I'm going to extend that line as far as I can. And then I'm going to draw a line straight out right here at the bottom. And that's going to be a perfectly horizontal line. My mouse pad slipped on me there. There we go. So basically that diagonal line was representing this diagonal line here. It's the same concept, the same idea. So next thing you're going to do is you're going to measure. You're going to measure the height of this rectangle, the blue rectangle. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say it's 4 inches tall. So I'm going to write 4 inches right here. And let's just say this is 2 inches wide. You know, let's challenge ourselves. Say it's 1.5 inches wide. Now we're just going to keep it simple. We're going to double the scale. So if we double the scale, 4 times 2 is 8. If we double 1.5, that's 3. So all I have to do is measure 8 inches up here. And I'm just going to go as high as I can. Let's just say 8 inches is about there, right? So all I have to do is take my ruler, draw a straight line over. Once it intersects that diagonal line, then I can draw a line straight down. And there we go. That is the rectangle in proportion to that. Now, here's a tricky part, or here is an interesting approach that I found that is a little different than some of the methods I've shown students in class. And this is what I think is going to be a little more accurate, especially when you're increasing the scale 2 or 3 times. What you're going to do is you're going to get a piece of paper that looks just like this sheet of paper here, this printing paper. This is just standard 8.5 by 11 printing paper. Everybody has it around their house. Or you can use a scrap piece of sketch paper, whatever. But what you want is a perfect machine cut diagonal here. I'm not a diagonal, a perfect machine cut edge to the paper. You can kind of see there's a nice edge here, right? That's the paper that I'm just drawing on right there. What you're going to do is you're going to take that paper. I'm going to switch colors and I'm going to go to white just so you understand white means paper. What you're going to do is you're going to take that paper and you're going to measure because what we're trying to do, let me just explain what we're trying to do so you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. So before we go any further, I'm going to switch to black. And see this line right here, this diagonal line? I'm trying to draw the same shape here. And basically it's going to look something like this. Right? But I'm guesstimating the distances between here, and I'm guesstimating distances between here and here. I'm guessing all this stuff. So how do I know that it's accurate? And I'm going to show you how to do it now really quickly and simply. So what you're going to do is you're going to get that sheet of paper and you're going to measure, or not measure, you're not going to measure at all, you're going to mark. So you can get that sheet of paper, and I'm going to switch to white so we understand what the sheet of paper is. You're going to get that sheet of paper and you're going to put it right here, the corner of it right here, and right here. Okay, so that represents this corner of the sheet of paper. So you're just getting a nice machine cut corner. And you're going to put that corner right here. Okay. After you do that, I'm just going to go back so I can. After you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to mark it off. Let me just go to my straight line here. you're going to mark off this distance here. And basically you're marking off the distance between the blue line, which is here, and where the red line meets the side of the paper here. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that piece of sheet of paper that is marked, you're going to bring it up here, and then you're going to mark it where it's marked off. So you're basically just taking this, but then you're going to mark it again because you're doubling that distance. And I think that makes sense now, because you're just taking this distance here and you're moving it up there and you're marking it once, but then you're going to mark it again twice, and you're going to find out exactly, you're basically doubling that distance, and you're going to do that all around. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So once you double the distance, then you can start to put your black line in. Black line, it goes from here to here, but shucks, I don't know where this hits this line here, so I can't put the black line in. What I have to do now is what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the distance between, so I'm going to get another corner of that sheet of paper, just so don't confuse myself with marks. So maybe I'll get this corner of the sheet of paper over here, and I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to bring it in this section over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from here, or mark from here to here, because basically I'm going to have the corner of the paper. Corner paper is going to be here and here, and I'm just trying to find this distance, right? And then I'm going to once you mark the paper, then you're going to move the paper up over in this corner. And it's going to be right here. And it's going to be right here. And the mark, I think, is going to be about right here. So what you're going to do is, I'm just going to guesstimate. So what you're going to do is you're going to double that mark size. So then you just move the paper over and line it up. Oops, come on. Move the paper. I'm drawing an arrow. Move the paper over this way, just slide the paper over that way. So the corner now lines up with this mark, and then mark the second mark. So basically you just times this by 2 up here. And then you know where to put that dark black line. So let me just put this in here. So the black line is going to go from here to here. All right. The other corner is right here in the corner. So you don't have to measure any, or you don't have to mark the white paper. You don't have to do any of that. So you just go from corner to corner. So we're basically halfway done here. The only distance we don't have is the left side. So what I'm going to do now is get your sheet of paper, find a clean corner. Let me switch the white. Find a clean corner. So let's just use this corner here. Move this corner over into this section over here. And what you're going to do is you're going to line that up from here. So this represents the corner of the paper. Okay. And then you're going to mark it. Okay. So that's marking the distance between here and here. And then once you mark it, then you just double the size. So then you just slide the piece of paper in this direction, double the size. So I bet you it's going to be about right there. So that would be the second mark. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my black pencil, and I'm going to take it from here to there. And then what I do next is I'm going to just draw a line straight up, and voila, that is your shape scaled perfectly. Increase the scale by 2. So if you want to increase the scale by 2.5, then you just times it by 2.5. If you want to increase it, and since with the paper, if you need to find a halfway mark, all you have to do is half the distance of one measurement. So what I mean by that is, let me just show you here. So if I'm up here in the top right hand corner, okay, if you want to, so this was 1, right? Distance between here and here. All you have to do is find the halfway mark You can measure it, you can just guesstimate it, whatever you want to do, just find the halfway mark. And then you would just add the distance between here and here over here. And then that would be 1, 2.5 distances. So that would be timesing by 2.5. But if you want to keep it simple, 2 or 3 instead of doing a 2.5, that's fine. Whatever works for you. But this is a really weird shape, and it's there's a lot of odd diagonal lines, and this is the best way for you to scale this up. Once you scale this up, then you're going to draw it out, where you can just draw this right on top of foam core because it's a paper. And then you're just going to cut the shape right on top of the foam core. When you cut the shape on foam core, you want to make sure that your blade is super sharp. And when you cut through foam core, which you've already cut before, but this way you want to be as precise as possible. So you want to just lightly cut the first layer, which is the paper, score twice through the foam, and then lightly cut the last final layer, which is the paper on the bottom. So it should take about 4 strokes to cut through it. Do not try to cut it in one stroke. You're going to apply too much pressure, and the lead of the razor blade is going to follow another line, and it's not going to be accurate. You have to draw this all over again. So let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully this was helpful. Take care.